Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Rifqa Fakhrunnisa. I'm from English Education Department, Unsur Betul Jakarta. In this video, I would like to review again about some articles that I have read before. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started to the table of contents. Welcome to my articles review. Okay, before I start my review, let me tell you guys about the table of contents. The first content is article about vocational education. The second content is articles about English foreign language methods. And the third or the last content is summary and the connection between articles. And yeah, without further ado, let's start to the first content. Okay, the first content is about vocational education. Vocational education in Indonesia has spread throughout the country. But then, how is the journey of vocational education in Indonesia itself? Let's review on the next page. This article is about vocational education in Indonesia. The history and the journey of vocational schools in Indonesia have developed from year to year. But there are still many challenges in vocational schools in Indonesia. And the article that I want to review, entitled Vocational Education in Indonesia, History, Development, Opportunities and Challenges, written by Suharno, Nugroho Agung Pambudi, and Budi Haryanto. The journal Children's Annual Services Review 115 in 2020. This study, the sample of this study consists of 44 school principals, 152 teachers, and 202 vocational students from 4 provinces in Indonesia. This study aims at comprehensively describing the ups and downs of vocational education in Indonesia, which include its history, development, opportunities, and challenges. And the major finding and conclusion for this study, there's a long history of vocational education in Indonesia with various challenges. But the current condition of vocational schools is experiencing an alarming decline, even though the government has compiled with various programs for vocational schools in Indonesia. The second content of this review is English foreign language method. Nowadays, English plays an important role in education, and there are many methods of learning English that can be applied to the student. And the articles that will be discussed next are about English foreign language learning method, and there are 9 articles that I want to review to you guys. The second article is grammar translation method. The grammar translation method is one of the most widely used methods for EFL or English foreign language. Then what are the advantage and disadvantage of the grammar translation method for learning? And the article that I want to review, entitled The Use of Grammar Translation Method in Teaching English, written by Katarina Elmayandi, Journal on English as a Foreign Language, Volume 5, Number 2, September 2015. And the subject of this study were 2 English teachers at 7th grade of SMP Negeri 1 Palangkaraya. This study aims to describe the patterns of grammar translation method or GTM and to know the reason why the teacher used this method. And the major finding and conclusion of this study is this method, GTM, is considered suitable for students at this school. And the second, by using this method, it helps the students to comprehend the text given. And the third, GTM, or grammar translation method, also can improve the students' vocabulary better. Third article is about suggestive video method. Writing skill is one of the skills that must be learned in learning English. And then what is the effect of Suggestopedia method on writing skills. And the article that I want to review entitled The Effect of Suggestopedia Learning Method on Description Writing Skills of 4th Grade Elementary Pupils, written by Rahmasari Dwi Marta, Sanwai Slamet, and Rukoya, Journal Proceeding, the Second International Conference on Teacher Training and Education 11 Maret University 270, Volume 2, Number 1, 2016. The experiment research was conducted in elementary schools in Surakarta. The sample are the students in 4th grade of 5 public elementary schools located in 5 districts where the research will be conducted, which is Jabres, Yosodipuro, Banjarsari, Laweyan, Kliwon, and Serengan districts. And the purpose of this study first is to conduct research on students who have problem developing student potential in writing description, and the second is to discuss the factor related to this problem and wants to make updates on descriptive writing skills, that is through the Suggestopedia alternative teaching method. And the major finding and the conclusion of this study is Suggestopedia learning method is better compared to direct learning method. And the second, there is interaction between teaching method and student motivation that are influencing the descriptive writing skills. Fourth article is about Suggestopedia method again. The Suggestopedia method has been widely applied for learning as a second language, and the article that I want to review entitled The Re-Emerge of Suggestopedia, Teaching a Second Language to Adult Migrant in Sweden, written by Helena Kollander and Andreas Veges, Journal Language and Culture and Curriculum 2021, Volume 34, Number 1. The purpose of this study is to better understand how Suggestopedia is adopted, formulated, and practiced in a contemporary way in Sweden, and to answer what characterizes in the practice of teaching Suggestopedia in Swedish as a second language for adult migrant. And the major finding and the conclusion for this study is some of the features of the Suggestopedia seen from a socio-cultural perspective mediated student learning, but teachers who are inspired by this particular approach need to develop scaffolding at the micro level. The fifth article is Total Physical Response Method. Total Physical Response is one of the English foreign language method, and in this article we will discuss how to apply Total Physical Response method in early childhood. The article that I want to review entitled The Implementation of TPR, Total Physical Response Method in Teaching English for Early Childhood, written by Siti Sumihatul Uma, Journal Advance in Social Science, Education and Humanities Research, Volume 58, 2017, and the data source of this research are the English teacher and the student at Raudatul Atfal Nurul Hikmah, Pamekasan. Their age was 6 years old, more than 6 year old, or more than 6 year old, but they were still under 7 years old, and the researchers conduct this research at B3 class, which consists of 30 students, and there were 14 male students and 16 female students. And the purpose of this study is to describe implementation of TPR method in teaching English, to know part of activities in the implementing of TPR method that makes students become more interested and active to the English subject, and to know the student response after learning English. And the major finding of this study is TPR method was appropriate to be implemented in English teaching and learning process for the kindergarten student, especially in Raudatul Atfal Nurul Hikmah Pamekasan. And These were three phases in English teaching and learning process. They are pre-teaching, while teaching, and post-teaching. The sixth article is about task-based method. And this article, we will discuss how the task-based method works in English classroom. And the article that I want to review entitled Teachers' Perception of Task-Based Language Teaching in English Classroom, written by Erwin Pohan, Emilia Adini, Evi Nopitasari, and Yuka Levana, Journal Proceeding of 4th International Seminar on English Language and Teaching 2016. The researcher conduct this research at state, junior, senior, and vocational high school teacher in Tanjung Pinang, Riau Archipelago Province, and all the EFL teachers at those schools are as the research subject. 55 teachers from 23 schools. And the purpose of this study is to find out how the state junior, senior, and vocational high school teacher in Tanjung Pinang, Riau Archipelago Province know well about the TBLT, or task-based language teaching in English classroom practice. And the major finding and the conclusion of this study is that the most of the teacher of junior, senior, and vocational school in Tanjung Pinang, Riau Archipelago Province have a good understanding of task-based language teaching concept and positive attitude toward using the item in the classroom. The seventh article is about community language learning. The community language learning is one of the methods of learning English that is quite widely used by teachers. And in this article, we will discuss the effect of using the community language learning method to develop speaking skill. And the article that I want to review, entitled Community Language Learning to Improve Students' Speaking Skill, written by Annie Gufrina Daulay, English Journal for Teaching and Learning, Volume 7, Number 2, December 2019. And this research was used to conduct with 20 participants of students at 12th grade IPS 2 at SMAN 2 Siabu in academic year 2019-2020. And the purpose of this study is to find out the improvement of students' speaking skill by using community language learning. And the major finding and the conclusion of this study is community language learning can improve student ability in speaking English, and their interest to speak also enhancing. And the indicator that influence their speaking are method itself, accent, grammar, fluency, comprehension, and also vocabulary. Its article is CLT, CLL, and audiolingual method. And we will discuss the collaboration between community language learning, communicative language teaching, and audiolingual method in learning English. And the article that I want to review entitled The Collaboration Between CLT, Audiolingual, and CLL Approach in Teaching and Learning English at SMA 1 Singorojo Kendal, written by Haryani and Ainur Rashidah Azmi Putri, Journal of English Education and Teaching, Volume 4, Number 1, March 2020. And this research was conducted on the 12th grade students of IPA 2 at SMA Negeri 1 Singorojo Kendal. And the purpose of this study is to investigate and analyze the collaboration of communicative language teaching approach, audiolingual method, and cooperative language learning method which were applied during teaching. Learning process in 12th grade of Science 2 student in SMA 1 Singorojo Kendal. And the major finding and the conclusion of this study is, first, teacher has paramount roles in creating interactive language teaching. The second, teacher also pay attention to the implementation of those components toward the recent curriculum 2013. And the third, the implementation of approach and method should be considered based on student review. The main article is about direct method, And here we will discuss the direct method, which is implemented in reading comprehension ability at SLTP Advance 4 PAL 2 Manado. And the article entitled The Effect of Direct Method on the Reading Comprehension Ability of Second Year Students at SLTP Advance 4 PAL 2 Manado, written by Marlene Marpau, and the population of this study was 76 second year students at SLTP Advance 4 PAL 2 Manado, who were divided into two groups, experimental and control groups. But there is no information where this article came from. But the purpose of this study is to find out the reading comprehension ability of the student at SLTP Advance 4 PAL 2 Manado when being taught using the direct method and the lecture method. And the major finding and the conclusion of this study, there is no significant difference between direct method and lecture method, and the teacher needs to be creative in choosing activities in the classroom that allow students to understand the author's idea, provide comment, or reject idea. The last article that I want to review is about audiolingual method, and the last article to be discussed is the audiolingual method in improving students' speaking skill at SDN Madi Gondo. And the article entitled Using Audiolingual Method to Improve the Student's Speaking Skill, written by Eda Ma'aliyah, Julius Hariwidodo, and Muhyiddin Aziz, Jurnal Bahasa Inggris Terapan, Volume 3, Number 1, February 2017. And a classroom action research at the 5th grade of Madigondo Elementary School in the academic year of 2015-2016. And the purpose of this study is to find out the effectiveness, advantage, disadvantage, strength, and the weakness in improving the speaking skill of 5th grade elementary school students using the audiolingual method, especially at SDN Madigondo. And the major finding or the conclusion of this research is the student have some problem in comprehension, fluency, vocabulary, pronunciation, and also grammar. And yeah, we come to the third or the last content of this video is about summary and the connection between articles. Okay, the first is about vocational education, because there is only one article, so I just summarize this article. There's a long history of vocational education in Indonesia with various challenges, and the current condition of vocational schools is experiencing an alarming decline because there is a lot of stigma regarding vocational education about unemployment and incompetent graduate due to unplanned development, inappropriate learning, and the low role of industry. And even though the government has compiled with various programs, it still has not answered the opportunities and challenges that exist in vocational schools. And the last, the connection between 9 articles about English foreign language method. Yeah, there are several well-known methods for teaching students in learning English as a second language. Some of them are grammar translation method, audiolingual, direct method, communicative language teaching, community language learning, total physical response, task-based, and etc. And the method above are good to apply to students. However, teacher also have to adapt this method to be taught later, and the teacher can combine some of the method above and adapt them to the condition of the class and the students. And finally, we come to the last part of this video. I would like to say thank you so much for your kind attention, and I'm sorry if there are still a lot of mistakes, And yeah, see you on the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.